Pilar, mother of Daniel, Madrid train station attack, the 11th of March 2004.
Y a partir de ahí el vacío.
And after that, emptiness.
Y prácticamente la
And I became almost more dead than alive.
Lo más parecido que
What
hay
comes closest to your
a
own
la
death
propia
is
muerte
the death of your child.
es la muerte de un hijo. Cuando se te muere tu marido,
When your
o tu
husband or
esposo,
wife dies, you become a
te conviertes en
widow or a
un viudo o
widower.
una viuda. Cuando se te mueren tus padres, te
When your
conviertes en
parents
un
die,
huérfano.
you become an orphan.
Pero por muy rico que sea nuestro
But as
vocabulario,
rich as our language
no hay ni una
is, there
sola
is
palabra
not a
que
single
define.
word to name what a mother
Una palabra
becomes
que
when
no
she has
define.
lost her child.
Mi hijo sale de mi casa a las
My
7:25.
son left home at 7:25. He kissed me and said, "See you this evening, Mum."
Me da un beso y me dice, hasta la tarde, mami. Y a menos
And at 20 minutes
escuché la
before
primera
8, I listened to the news on the
por la
radio,
radio,
and my heart told me
y el
that my
corazón
son
me
had
dijo
been
que a mi
murdered.
hijo me lo habían asesinado.
Gorky, father of Sebastian, New York attack, 11th of September 2001.
He was a very happy person who deserved to live. He had an appointment that morning, and 5 minutes later, the airplane hit. I very simply said to myself, why did he accept that appointment? And that why is still there. Some people tell me, don't worry, life goes on. I cannot bear to hear that. Getting over it. I'm still not over it today. You very simply cannot believe it. You simply have the feeling, I'm putting it very bluntly, that the door is going to open, and that he is going to be there and say something like, I have lost my memory. Emotionally, it is all very abstract.
Michael, father of Aidan, Omar attack, 15th of August 1998.
That particular day was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. I'll never forget when he looked back for the last time and he said, I won't be long. And that was really the last time that we seen Aidan. And maybe an hour later, I heard a massive explosion. It's a heavy cross to carry, that's for sure. Without any explanation, was just gone. You know, that's a hard thing to live with. And for absolutely no reason. For no reason. Just because some people wanted to make a protest. So please stand up and be counted. I can never reverse the position. And maybe you can at least prevent it. If it's not for yourself, for somebody else.
Giovanni, son of Vittorio, assassinated in Rome, 12th of February 1980.
It is terrible. My father was assassinated as he was coming out of the political science faculty. 3 or 4 people went up to him and fired several rounds with a machine gun, and then a young woman shot him in the head. It has been suggested to me that it might be important for a family to transmit a message. I think that we have a duty of continuing my father's civil struggle rather than just crying, which we have done a lot of. We have also had to think about the religious ceremony and send out a message and a prayer to the faithful. We also prayed for those who killed my father and prayed never to speak words of revenge but only of pardon. The best revenge against terrorism is to say publicly, I do not hate you. Bridget, sister of Nicole, attack against UTA's DC-10, the 19th of September 1989.
She was a person who had a very important place in my life, even though now I tell myself I didn't always let her know. Nicole was gone just like that, quick as a flash. Nothing prepared us for this, that's what's so hard. It's my pain, it belongs to me. I received €15,000 for my sister's death, but but I couldn't give a damn about the money. What I wanted was recognition that there had been 170 victims, including my sister, and that this was murder. Never did I hear that word pronounced. Yes, there were 170 victims, so much for children, so much for the parents, spouses, brothers and sisters. So goodbye and have a good day. And then there are the people who say, what was the DC-10? Oh, well, yes, it was a plane that exploded in the desert. Oh, and when was that? If this commemoration on 11th of March exists, that means there is finally some support for the families of victims, and I say that's a good thing.
Andrea, mother of Adrian, victim of the attack in Gerba, the 11th of April 2002.
A huge blast. And when I turned around, I saw that my son Adrian was covered with flames. My husband jumped on him because he was closer. He took Adrian in his arms and we rolled rugs around him to put out the flames. Naturally you wonder, why my child? Why? It's very self-centered. But what have we done to deserve this? We had very positive reactions from people wanting to help us, to support us. But we also had to fight reactions we received in anonymous letters. One of them wrote, "How could you take the responsibility of taking a 3-year-old child to Tunisia? What I would like is for human beings to feel a little more compassion." Yes, that's it. Compassion for others.
Carmen, wife of Miguel, assassinated in Madrid the 30th of November 1992.
For the terrorists, it was just a uniform, as if there was no one under the uniform, and yet there was. Under that uniform was a man, a family. My daughters were very attached to their father, tremendously so. I was the authoritative one in the family, and Dad was the nice one. Because I have a strong character, I was the one who always had to keep the discipline. That day I promised my husband that his daughters would not die, that I would help them get on with their lives. And as a result, I haven't had time to be depressed or to think about me or anything else. I have only thought about my daughters. What we have to keep in mind is that terrorism must not win, that we have to defeat it, because, yes, it is possible, acting within the law, to put an end to all that.
Marion, mother of Alan, Boma attack, the 15th of August 1998.
It was just so lovely. I mean, I've lost, like, my best friend. You know, someone took Alan's life, you know. Alan was murdered. You know, he did not die with an illness. He was murdered, you know. That's what people forget, you know, that he was murdered. You know, Alan would never... Alan loved life. You know, why has people got a right to take innocent people's lives? You know, there's so many dead. But these dead are people. You know, they're not just numbers. They're people, important people that are loved for their families, you know. To other people, yeah, they're probably just numbers. But to the families, they're precious, and they're missed, and they're loved. And they're not just numbers.
Maria Jesus, victim with her daughter of the Madrid attack, 17th of October 1991.
I told my daughter, we can have 2 reactions. The first is to cry, to spend our life hating them and wanting revenge. The second is to say that we were born like this today. You don't have legs anymore, neither do I. And since that day, we have never again said, why did this happen to me? Why me? Never, never. That morning, my daughter said to me, "Mum, I'm afraid to get in the car." I asked her why, and she said, "Just imagine that someone had planted a bomb in our car too." I answered, "But that's total nonsense. Come on, get in the car. Do you think you're important enough to be a target? Come on, stop your foolishness and get in." That was 5 minutes before the bomb went off. How could I have imagined that we could be a bomb target? It was inconceivable. because no one can imagine that such a thing could happen to them too.
Claude, mother of Nicole, attack against UTA's DC-10 on the 19th of September 1989.
I have the impression she is in me, with me. Nothing is harder for a mother than to lose a child. It's terrible. The pain can't be measured. It doesn't subside. I had fits of violence. I wanted to destroy everything. I felt rage, revolt. And then there was a friend of my daughter who told me, without realizing how much she was hurting me, what my daughter was like when she was found, and that really hurt. It's dreadful to imagine such a thing, to realize that the blast was so strong that her body was like cardboard. You can imagine what it is to think about that. It is not possible to forget, but the fact that other people are still remembering is comforting. We are not alone in this duty to remember. Cayetano, victim of the Madrid train station attack, 11th of March 2004.
I didn't think working people like us could be the target of terrorists. I never thought, never. I figured targeted terrorism did indeed exist, like the ETAs, but not against just anyone. My daughter and I were running to catch the train. One thing is certain, she could run faster than I could. She was already on the train when I was still at the staircase. I had to hurry. And so when the bomb went off, my daughter said, "Dad, I made you run and we were almost killed." I told her, "Don't feel guilty. This happened with that train. It could just as well have happened to the next one." Now I get up because I have to get up. I eat because I have to eat, but I don't really want to do anything anymore. If being depressed is not wanting to do anything, being irritable, then yes, that's what I feel today.
Yorgos, son of Nikos, assassinated in Athens, 21st of February 1985.
My name is Yorgos Monferatos. The reason I am here is that my father was assassinated in 1985 by the terrorist organization 17th of November. For years I felt terrible pain when I thought about what my father must have experienced the instant the bullets struck him. What could have gone through his mind as the bullets hit? Those thoughts make me extremely despondent. I am angry at those people who, with incredible arrogance, decided to assassinate my father. Our fellow citizens have never been very concerned about victims. Everyone had a tendency to say that it was a good thing that they had been killed and that they must have asked for it. What I want today is a tribute and recognition for those who have been taken from us. Clara, victim of the Madrid train station attack, 11th of March 2004.
I opened my eyes and I saw that there was no one. A very strange silence, like emptiness. Today I feel sadness, apathy. I do things by routine, slowly. Our lives, the lives of ordinary citizens, have exactly the same value as those of our leaders. The difference being that they are protected by bodyguards and security measures, while we walk to work on our own. More than anything else, what we, the victims of terrorism, can transmit is that all of us, absolutely all of us, must be equal. Paolo, attack at the Bologna train station, 2nd of August, 1980.
In my family, 3 people were seriously wounded and 1 killed. Having family members killed and injured is a real tragedy. With my son and my parents also seriously wounded, Obviously, the psychological process is extremely difficult, to say nothing of the fact that when something like this happens to you, you are not at all prepared. One thing that unites all people, all victims of terrorism, is to feel that the authorities are at your side, that you have not been abandoned. The greatest tragedy would be for the world to forget these events, not to make them known. That would harm democracy and the possibility of peace among peoples in the future. Ingrid, victim of the Bali attack, 12th of October 2002.
Bali was a magical island for me, the land of my dreams. All I know is that when the first bomb exploded and I saw it, I was so shocked that my body reacted by simply not feeling anything. Then it was a question of fight or flight. I decided to run. The trial I had to survive can be put in a single question. Am I going to continue my life, or am I going to stop living? I decided to live. And since I decided to live, I want to live well. I want to live in good health, in peace. I want to live happily, or at least be happy at times. That is what I chose, and that is what I'm working towards.
Pamela, sister of Peter Lockerbie attack, 21st of December 1988.
Why did he manage to get on that plane? Why was it his plane? He was on a plane with many people. Why was it his plane? 54 million people travelled through Heathrow that year, yet it was this plane. Many people are not selected because of who they are, but simply to symbolize something. What were we symbolizing? What do we symbolize now? And I think it must be that we should make a day to remember the victims of terrorism a very special occasion. And it should be an occasion on which people can set aside time to think about those who have been directly affected by terrorism. And I hope it will be a day on which people who have not been directly affected will come to understand a little better that they might be. And even they are not, they need to have the compassion and understanding of those who have been affected. You can accept, but you do not forget.
Carol, wife of Asio, assassinated in Rome, 27th of March 1985.
One of my friends called me and said the Red Brigade had shot my husband. On the way to the hospital, I asked whether he had died and was told yes. I felt a pain as sharp as if a knife was cutting me in two. When you live through an experience like that, every breath you take is a nightmare. Every time you open your eyes, you see a nightmare. Every evening when you close your eyes, the nightmare is there. And every moment of the day is a nightmare. And then there are the survivors who have had to live with the burden, with that life. So it is only right to remember the victims and the fact that these acts did indeed take place. Jesus, victim of the Madrid train station attack, 11th of March 2004.
I'm here, I can walk, I can look at the moon and the stars, all those things that can seem romantic and trivial. Surviving is already a privilege that many people unfortunately do not have. The terrorists stole part of our lives that we will never get back. They stole dreams that we will never have again. You can understand my pain, but I am the only one who can feel it. I know the effort it takes to try and look more or less presentable, to have to get up every morning with all these scars, to try to recover this blasted arm, to see my burnt legs that don't respond, and to feel my lungs burning. We are so used to seeing scenes of terrorism and violence on television and in films that we no longer realize that every victim of a terrorist attack is a human being. Christiane, victim of the attack at the Port Royal Underground Station, 3rd of December 1996.
I'm still fragile emotionally. But since I'm a strong person, I've managed to get over it. What also protected me in my traumatism is that I didn't see anything, because I was asleep. When the bomb exploded, my eardrums burst, so I was deaf, cut off from the world. In fact, what woke me was the ball of fire that went under the seat and reached up to my face. Almost every day. It doesn't last long, but I think a few moments about the attack. My current partner has been devoted to me, my parents too, especially my father who used to come every day. That's where you see that you're not completely healed.
Miriam, fiancée of Abel, Madrid train station attack, 11th of March 2004.
You meet someone, you start seeing him, you begin to build a relationship, you start thinking about the future, sharing plans. I saw him that morning, I wished him a happy birthday, he kissed me, and he left just as he used to leave every morning, and I never saw him again. I kept thinking, nothing can happen to him because today is his birthday. No one can die on their birthday. Every 20 minutes, a man with a megaphone appeared. With him were men and women in white coats who went up and down the room where all the families were waiting. And with his megaphone, he would announce the names of the people who had been identified. And at that very moment began the process of sorrow and mourning.